Hello friends, Colleen here with YarnWars.com. Today I'm bringing you a new pattern that I am so excited about. I am calling this Symphony. It's something that literally I was just playing around with some stitches and came up with this beautiful pattern. And the name, I couldn't tell you. Actually, I looked it up. It says Symphony is something that in its harmonious complexity or variety suggests a symphonic composition. And these stitches are a little complex. However, I would like to say that it's somewhat beginner friendly and it shouldn't be very difficult to do. This is a one row pattern, so it's just a repeat of one row, and the wonderful thing about this is that it is the same pattern on both sides. Depending on what yarn you use, this is going to be a nice thick scarf. So if you're someone who likes to make scarves for charity, this is going to be really warm for someone in need. And I've got a hat that I'm also going to be doing a video for. You'll see a video before you see a written pattern, and this has kind of been my deal lately. It's just easier for me to get a video up there first to explain better the stitches. Some of these stitches, they're just easier to explain visually, and you'll understand that when I get started here. But I will have repeat rows in the description of the video below. So this particular scarf that you're seeing here was made with the puzzle yarn. I used all of it, so I don't have a skein to show you, but it's by Premier. This one was a bulky yarn, and it does suggest a J-hook. So I did use a J-hook for this one. In the video, I am going to be using a different yarn, but I did want to put this up here so that you could see. This one was done with the J-hook, also known as a 6mm hook. And it came out so soft, so cozy. This puzzle yarn is really fun. That is the one that's in the picture there. And eventually I'll have a picture for this other yarn I'm going to be using, but it just transitions really nicely into the different colors. This is the adult hat for this. You can do a pom-pom, which I will eventually put onto this because this is going to be a winter set here for somebody close to me. I did another one, and it kind of gives you a really good visual on the hat end of what this pattern really looks like. It's a beautiful pattern, and it's very nice, warm, cozy. This is when I get the written. I will have that written pattern out probably just within a couple of days of doing the video, but I wanted to get this video out so that people who are looking for something different to do for Christmas gifts, for, like I said, charity donations, that you'll have this pattern all ready to go and you'll be able to at least get started with things. But again, the description will be below for the repeat pattern. So today I'm going to use, this is a yarn I got a while back, but I don't know how to call, I don't know what the name is. Hige Charm. This one is, and I'm using this one because a lot of people talk about how I use a darker yarn in some of my videos, and just to make this easier all around, I'm going to use this. And this one suggests an 8mm hook, an L hook. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to be using an I hook for this one. This one is a 4. I apologize. My dog is going to be a part of this video no matter what I say. So it's going to be a medium weight yarn. We will use, oh, nope, it says right here, an I hook. So I'm not sure what that is up here. But we're going to use an I hook for this. So I'm right on track. I hook. So what you're going to need is, of course, your hook. So you can do this in whatever yarn you want. Just adjust it to whatever hook size. This one's going to be done with a 5.5mm hook size. You're going to want your scissors and then, of course, a blunt needle to hide in a couple of tails that you're going to have. Not too many. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to jump right into this, and I apologize, no glam here. I have winter hands. They are, I washed them so much, they're just not the most pretty of hands, I will say. So I apologize for that. But this is all about the pattern, not about the frills. So I'm going to start with my slip knot. I just wrap it around my finger, create a loop. Bring that up the back and pull it through with your fingers or with a hook to make a little loop knot. And to start this, we're going to chain 21. So we are working basically clusters with this. It's a different type of cluster, but it is worked over 3 stitches throughout this pattern. So basically you're going to be working in increments of 3, and to start you'll add 1 onto your beginning chain. So we're going to start with a chain of 21, and then we'll add 1 on for that turning chain. So we'll have a 22 start chain. So you go ahead and chain 22. Now, I do have a video that explains how you can go into the spine of that chain to start. I'm not going to bother with that today. I'm just going to go right into the chain so I can show you. It's a little easier. Okay, so I'm trying to pull this in a little further, and I'm hoping that this keeps a little bit of focus. The name of this yarn, I don't know how to pronounce. I showed it just a minute ago, but this is called Moonlight, this color. So what we're going to do is we're going to start working into our second chain from the hook. So that was 22, this is 21, and we're going to start right off with the pattern. We're going to go into that loop and we're going to pull through. We're going to go into the next loop and pull through. We've got 3 on our hook. Go into 1 more loop, 1 more chain, pull through. So we've got 4 loops on our hook. And what we're going to do is yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on that hook. We're going to chain 1. I'm not going to be real tight with this either. Just, there's a reason for that. You do not want to be real tight with this pattern. These 2 loops right here in the front, we're going to come right in to both of those loops. From there, we're going to yarn over and pull through, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we made our first cluster. This is where you're going to need to really pay attention to where you go in next, because this is the ending of that. So we're going to be moving on to this, and it'd be really easy to go into there because it's just real open and ready for the hook. But no, we're not going into that same one. We're going in to this next stitch here, and we're going to yarn over, pull through one, go into the next one, yarn over, pull through your third loop. And then one more, yarn over, pull through. We have 4 loops on our hook. So we'll yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on that hook, yarn over and pull through. Come back down into those 2 loops, put your hook through those loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, we made our second one. So it looks like it doesn't want to cooperate unless I'm really zoomed in here. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. It's so big on my end. So remember, and if you need to pull this a little bit just to see that that's the last area worked, just so you don't accidentally go into it. So we're not going in here, we're going in the next one. We're going to yarn over, pull through, into the next one, yarn over, pull through, and then into the next, yarn over, pull through. See how we work that over 3 chains. So we're going to yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going to go right into those 2 in front there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is our 3rd cluster worked. Moving on to the next. See if I can do it like this and show you a little easier. We're going to go into this loop here, yarn over, pull through, into the next, yarn over, pull through, next, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1, and then we're going to come in to the front of that, pull those, and yarn over, pull through. So we're going to work this to the end, to the very end. And I will just work through this. If you need the slower version, you can just back up a little bit, but we're going to get to the end on this. This gets super fast the more you do it. So there's a couple of reasons I tell you to try to stay loose and comfortable with your yarn, because when we move up to the next row with the pattern, there's going to be one stitch that's a little bit tougher to get into. As you go though, you'll learn and realize that you get a little looser, maybe. We have 3 chains left. We're going to go in, through, in, through, in, through. That's the last 3 chains. Yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1. Come in to those front loops, yarn over, pull through, and finish. So this is what we have for our first row. We are going to chain 1. Chain 1 will be always the next before you start a new row, and you're going to turn your work. So to start our new row after we've chained 1, this is going to be our very first stitch we go into. So look at this, where the edge is. It's really the edge stitch. It's the first stitch. So we're going to go into this stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then we're going into this next stitch, and it's going to seem a little tighter to go into, but that is the stitch you want, the very next stitch. Yarn over and pull through, and then you're going to have this chain space here. That's going to be your third. So you'll know if you're on track, if you're going into that real loose chain space there, that you're in the right space, ending this cluster. Then we're going to pull through all 4, chain 1, come into those front 2, 1, 2, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both of those loops. And then your next one is going to be very easy to find. It's right here. We're going to go directly into that next stitch, pull through, into this tighter stitch will be our second pull through. Let me get some more yarn here. Ending the cluster, going into that chain space there, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1, and go right into those front stitches there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to do this all the way down the row. Pull through. We're going to go into this tighter stitch here. Make sure you're getting both loops with that tighter stitch. Both loops. Don't accidentally just grab one, because that would be easy to do. We want to make this a very secure, very very secure. That's a good word. Chain 1. Go into those loops. Yarn over, pull through. Chain 1. All the way down the row, you guys just continue down. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit and see if I can get this to focus in better from further away. And I'll continue with the next row. So you could just see it from a little further away so you could see me working it. But that's what we're going to do to the end, and I'll meet you back here in a sec. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing this okay. I'm at the end of my row, and you see I have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, and 3. So we're working this straight into the end, and this is going to really create this nice scalloped edge. The way we end this, that you really don't need a border around. If you like to create a border anyway, obviously feel free to do that. But I love how the border turns out on its own naturally, that I will not be doing that. And I'll show you what I mean. It is kind of a scalloped edging for this. And it just, I think it turns out really pretty on its own. It happens the same on both sides, obviously, because we're using that turning chain every time we go back and forth and back and forth. So you really end up with a really pretty edge anyway. So do as you like. And then I'm going to work one more row with you. This is really all there is to it. I'm going to work one more row with you on camera, and then all you're going to do is repeat that until you reach your desired length of scarf. So I turned the light off, and I think that might have been the culprit, but hopefully you're seeing this okay. What I wanted to mention is, if this is not a wide enough scarf for you, if you want to do more, just remember to add 3 work in 3 increments. So this was a 21 chain. So we end up with 7 clusters on this. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clusters on this. 7 times 3, 21. And then if you want to add more, just you'll bump up to 24 for 8 clusters. And then you'll want to make sure you add that 1 for the turning chain. So you'll do 25. Or you can do longer than that. You can use this for a blanket. Just use that math to create the length that you need. And it's all going to be dependent on what type of yarn you use, what the length is actually going to be. I'm sticking with what I did for that 5 bulky weight. I also did a chain of 21 plus 1, 22 chains. And you can kind of see the difference. This is with the J hook. So I come over here, and you can see the difference in length with the I hook. So if I wanted to get closer to this, I would add that 3 extra. I would do a chain of 24 plus 1, 25. So, but this is per the written, what the written pattern is going to be. This is based on a 4 medium weight yarn, and the other was the puzzle, the 5 bulky. So we're going to chain 1 at every new round. Turn our work towards us. And we're going to go in to that first stitch to start right there. Remember, that's very first stitch. And we're going to chain 1, go into this one, which is a little tighter, and we're going to yarn over, pull through, and then into the chain space here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 4, chain 1. Whoop. In through those 2 loops facing us, sorry, yarn over and pull through. So I'm going to go through this, and oops, probably did something here. Okay, so this is, I've already messed up, as you can see. And this is, I'm glad I did this, honestly, just so I could show you. I missed a step in here while I was flying through and finishing this. At some point, I did not chain up 1. Wait a second, did I do that? I did not chain up 1 to do that 1 stitch before the chain. So I need to back out of this. Thankfully my problem was right here, but you'll be able to see right away, because that 1 chain is going to be the difference. I'm just going to back out. I think I did that one right, but back out anyway just to make sure. So I'm going to come back through and finish this round again, just so that I have it correct. You can always fudge a little and just, you know, fix something without going back and doing it the right way, but what good is that? Let's do it right the first time. And we'll pull through that chain space, and we're going to go through. There's that chain 1 that I missed. So that makes a huge difference. And if you notice something in the pattern is off, then you're going to want to correct it before, so you don't have your pattern chain or turning in or doing something weird. Okay, so I got to the end of that. I fixed my little bloop, and there we're gonna chain 1, turn the work towards us, and then we're gonna go into that first stitch again, chain 1, we'll go into that next tight stitch, and there we go, pull through, and then we're going to come up here into those loops and pull through. So this cluster ends up being so pretty. It really is. But you're just going to continue doing the same thing. It's that easy, and you're creating the same exact pattern on both sides. So you're not going to have one side that you're going to really be able to say this is the right side and this is the wrong side, because there's a lot of patterns where your back side doesn't look as pretty as the front side, but this one is pretty much in sync. So hopefully this was a good explanation of what we're doing here for the Symphony scarf. The hat pattern will be available shortly after this, but it is also so very simple. It's just making sure that you have your counts right. As long as you have your numbers right, everything will fall into place easily. So there's another pattern that I need to come out with, and it's the lifeline hat. I did not do a hat for that. Well, I did, but I did not post the video for it. And that will also be coming out here soon. If you've seen that on the channel, there's a scarf, no hat. I probably should have put that out here first, but anyhow, I'm going to let you continue working this up. I'm going to do a few more rounds and then all the way to the end like this. I'm sorry if I come out of the screen there. Into our last round, chain one into those first two loops, or front two loops, chain one. So after I chain up there, I will always chain one to start my new row. Okay, so you see it building up here. It's going to be gorgeous when you're done. This scarf is so pretty. So the pros of this scarf is it's a gorgeous scarf. The one thing I'm going to turn on and see if this will work for me now. A little bit. When you're working this scarf, it will start doing this turning kind of as you're working it. You'll notice it. I don't know if it's obviously because of the way we're working the yarn. We're kind of pulling over this way and that way, and but you're going to notice that the scarf starts curling a little bit. As you grow your scarf, it is going to just level out. I promise you. So do not let that be a reason that you stop working on it. And you stop growing it out to actually make a scarf, because it is going to do that. I'm letting you know right now. And it's not anything that's real annoying while you're working up the scarf, but it will do that. That is normal. And I will be back. Just keep on working. Okay, friends, so I have gone as far as I'm going to go on video with this, but this is, I did just a few more rows here so that you could see it growing, and you see the beautiful edging that you achieve with just keeping it normal, keeping the edges normal. I really like that. You can also see that little slight curl coming on the end here when you're working it up. So like I said, that all levels out in the end. So just a really pretty pattern, front and back the same. And I did work this up before in some different kinds of yarn, just to give you an idea. I did this in the Lions brand landscapes. Oh, let me see if I can get it. So sorry, I've got a little bit of a mess going on here. Okay. This is this is what it's starting to look like with this. And if you've watched my other videos, you know a lot of my stuff is done with Lions brand landscapes. I love this yarn. It's really kind of a pain to work with because if you mess something up, you have to, the fibers almost start connecting to each other like roots. But it's just it's a pretty yarn. And I couldn't tell you, this is an old one that I had that was without its sleeve. So, but this is the Symphony scarf being worked up with the landscapes. So there's one. You can get an idea of how that's looking. I used this. I don't even know why I bought this yarn. Some of you may love it. It's the Super Saver Fair Isle. This one is a, let's see if I can find it. Oh, there it is. A 4. So a medium weight yarn. And the color of this is Candy Fair Isle. So, I mean, it's fun. Not my favorite, but it would be really cute for like a little girl. It would be cute. Or a little boy. Just it's gonna work up kind of its own little pattern. I noticed with some of the yarns, I'm getting a little bit of a pooling effect. Not so much this one, but still kind of fun. Patterns same, both sides. So we've got one made up with the landscapes, one with the Super Saver, and then this one is Jeans. This is by Lion brand, and it is jean yarn, and I've used this before in one of my videos as well, my cascading waterfall scarf. This one says top stitch, so that must be the color there, top stitch. This is also a medium weight yarn of 4, but this is if you're looking to make maybe a little more of a dressier scarf. It's a thinner yarn. It's real pretty. But that is an example of this type of yarn. If you have any of this laying around, this would make a beautiful like dress scarf for work, just kind of an accessory scarf. So there's some different examples of the Symphony scarf in different types of yarn. I think this one might be my favorite. I actually do love the puzzle though. The first one that I have actually pictured in the video completely done, but this is turning out real pretty too. It's got little sparkles in it. I don't know if you've been able to see that in the video, but I'm going to leave all of, like I said, I will have the repeats, and you'll be able to understand them. They'll be a little more clear if you watch the video. It's going to be a little more difficult for me to explain this cluster, but I will do the very best I can, and I will have a written pattern out for this shortly. The hat pattern will be posted shortly for this, and different sizes will be obviously available for that as well. But you'll be able to follow me at the different links below in social media. You could visit YarnWars.com for a bunch of different patterns. Free patterns. All of my patterns are free, and they're posted on the website, not in downloadable form. You can get most of my patterns, I would say 95% of my patterns you can get at the Facebook YarnWars group at facebook.com/groups/YarnWars. I do in the files tab, you'll have to join the group, and then there's obviously no cost for that, but you will be able to download the majority of my patterns in the files tab of the group. So I hope you have enjoyed this. Please let me know what you think. If you think it was easy, too hard, whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I appreciate you taking time out of your day to work up one of my patterns. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great day.